Okay. Hey, Margaret Lynn Trineri here. And when your physiology is hijacked by your first chakra, hijacked with fear, your drive, your emotions, your passion, your joy is bypassed. I am right in the middle of my Chakra Intuitive live, totally free training series. It's happening right now, January 24th, as I'm making this video. And I taught the first class yesterday on the first chakra. And there was a bit that I wanted to go through more in more detail, more slowly, give you a little bit more before the next training, because I'm doing another live training tomorrow on the second chakra. We're going to be changing gears. And so I wanted to talk to you today about women, hormones, the nervous system, and how this bypass of our passion, our drive actually happens in our system, in our bodies, and it's particular for women. So guys, if you're watching and you have women clients, you really need to understand this. And ladies, we need to understand this for ourselves, because in our bodies, not only growing up female, do we have all sorts of programming that I'm going to talk about in another video, but we also have hormones, and we are affected very differently by the fight or flight. So let's get into it. What does this have to do with chakras? Now, I'm also the author of the book Unblocked, and it is the perfect companion to this live training series I'm doing on being a chakra intuitive, chakra by chakra by chakra. And so check that out. I'll put a link for you there in the chat. But we're building on the book in this live training series. And this is one of the things that I touched on that I felt like was really important, but I didn't have enough time to go into it, which is your first chakra runs your nervous system, because the first chakra is formed when we are born and we come into this body. And our first level of consciousness, of awareness is, am I safe, or is it not safe here for me? And how do I survive on this planet Earth? How do I survive with these people? And so when our first chakra is filled with experiences and programming, and we arrive as an adult with a lot of feeling of unsafety if we step out of our comfort zone, sometimes just unsafety all the time, whether it's due to what we've created in our money or in our relationships, or just this feeling of, I don't know, Margaret, unless I'm perfect and I'm doing everything right, I don't feel safe from things like, am I good enough? And criticism. When we have that kind of a first chakra that isn't feeling solid and secure and safe all the time, that first chakra is shooting into our nervous system, the fight or flight. And that means cortisol and adrenaline are being prioritized by the body as hormones, stress hormones. And that means we don't have time for a second chakra in this moment. The second chakra, which is supposed to be the fuel, our passion, our desire. It's like, what do I want though? And that seed, that fuel, that impetus for motivation, we don't have time for that. It's like someone telling you over and over, I don't have time for what you want, for what you feel. It's not important right now. We need to survive. And so that's why I say it a million times. When our physiology is hijacked with fear, our second chakra, our emotions, our desires, our passion is bypassed completely. It's like, I don't have time to hear what you feel and want. We are all about survival. And so, what happens in a female body that has three hormones, that has progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone, which I didn't know much about my whole life either, but are really, really important. And guess what? Disappear. Progesterone literally disappears when we have high cortisol and high adrenaline. And so, what is progesterone supposed to do for us? Well, it helps us sleep, and it helps us have that calm, balanced feeling. What is estrogen supposed to do when it's at the right level? It makes us socially creative. It makes us feel like taking risks and reaching out and working things through and taking leadership roles. And what does testosterone supposed to do for us? Yes, give us motivation, give us drive, give us those big charges of leadership energy where we're just like, F it, I'm going to do it. And so those hormones, that second chakra hormones of drive and passion and connection and feeling what I want and the joy of connecting and achieving, all of that is bypassed when we are in first chakra fear. And so everyone who knows the chakras talks about the heart chakra. It's amazing. It's really supposed to live from our heart. Well, 99% of us live from our first chakra. We can try to live in our heart, but when the first chakra is running the show, it means that most of what we're doing is a priority to stay safe. So what happens at the third chakra? What happens at the third chakra, which is supposed to be my agency, my action, my leadership energy, right? Where I take that passion, that drive, the thing I want to do, and I step into courageous, confident action. Well, at the third chakra, we have bypassed all of that second chakra. It don't matter what you want and what you feel and what you're passionate about. It doesn't matter. I need to survive. So at the third chakra, what we are doing with our behaviors is doing things to stay in our safe comfort zone. And so I'm going to do another video on what that means in particular for women. And guys, if you're listening, you need to know this about women in your life and women clients, because what makes us feel unsafe is a longer list because of growing up female. So I'm going to do another video and eventually I'll link it here for you to find it. So let's talk about that third chakra. Instead of having that agency, that confidence, that rock solid action, we end up with rock solid stuckness, where we are stuck in certain things, usually procrastinating or freezing from things that we want to do, that our mind thinks we want to do, that we're wishing we could do, that meet some goal or desire that we are secretly harboring, but we're stuck there. Meanwhile, we can be in complete action all of the time. We can be going and going and going. Yes, we can be completely stuck, yet in constant motion. I see it in women all the time. So we're doing, what are we doing? Everything we're supposed to do. Everything we're expected to do, everything people want us to do so that they're happy with us, so that we're accepted, so that we're not being criticized, we're not being attacked, we're not being guilted, so that we stay safe, because the first chakra is actually bypassing the system. In all of my actions, no matter how much action I'm in, the secret action underneath, even if I'm getting that third PhD, sometimes we can trace it back to, I have to be perfect. And then I will finally feel safe. And then I will finally feel like I deserve to have joy, because your second chakra is also where you feel, yeah, I deserve that. And I get to have this delicious, wonderful joy. So this is what I see. And this is why I call it being chakra intuitive, intuitive in the way you see the chakras, because to me, it becomes elementary. It's why I love training coaches. It becomes elementary for you, but to other people, it will look like intuition or mind reading. But this is what I see. So when someone presents, has these behaviors or has these complaints that I'm procrastinating, I'm playing small, I feel stuck, I'm afraid to be seen, stepping up, or going for something, or I'm kind of lonely, I feel on my own and alone, I don't feel enough joy. When I hear that, I intuitively know a whole bunch of things already. I know that what the nervous system is doing. I know that it is creating a fight or flight effect on the mind. So I know that that person is going to be much more critical of themselves. They are expecting the worst in a lot of ways. Their mind is in this, like, what's the worst that can happen? All of it. And they're in a defensive mental state, in a spinning state. Again, a self-critical state. I know what the nervous system is doing. The nervous system is keeping them in sympathetic nervous system, high cortisol. I literally know what their their hormones are doing. They have cortisol and adrenaline, and the nervous system is shooting that out in dominant over progesterone, which gets chewed up really quickly. So I know they're probably having trouble sleeping really well and feeling calm and balanced. I know that it's chewing up their estrogen, which can cause all sorts of problems. In addition, that feeling of courage, of social courage, of wanting to reach out and take more risks and connect with more people, which is often a big part of our goal. And I know it's affecting their testosterone, their drive, their motivation, their courage. So I know all of those things are going on because I know how the nervous system is operating. I know what their mind is doing. I know what their nervous system is doing. And I know what their hormones are doing. It's a little bit intimate, but I also know a fourth thing, which is that underneath, they have a bunch of feelings that they're barely feeling. So I know they're not feeling a lot. Sometimes the feeling overwhelms them, and other times they're like, yeah, I just don't feel a lot in my life. I'm just not very happy. I'm just not very joyful. And so I know that as well. I also know that they're likely going in between either feeling overwhelmed or feeling like they're stuck, right? They're overwhelmed doing too many things, and at the same time that they're stuck and that they're stuck, and even if they're in constant motion, right? It's like they're doing 1,000 things, often feeling overwhelmed, in constant motion. And I also know, as I said, that they're most likely criticizing themselves with constant pushing themselves or criticizing themselves or saying, what is wrong with me? I also know that they're trying really hard, like compassion immediately, that they're trying really hard to do everything right, to not let anybody down while they're wishing that they could be somehow happier. And then finally, I also know, again, whether they admit it or not, whether they realize it in the moment or not until I say it, I know that they're feeling sad underneath. I know that when I get under there and we start bringing in an intervention like tapping, for example, where I start to turn down that fight or flight, I know there's going to be sadness under there. And they may resist it or it might come right up, but I know that it is there. Because again, so why would sadness be under there? Well, for a lot of reasons. But again, I want you to come back to when our physiology is being hijacked with fear. And I go like this because it's like first chakra all the way up to our mind. Our second chakra is being bypassed, hijacked, bypass second chakra. And so again, imagine that someone is telling you all the time, your feelings don't matter right now. What you want, your dreams, your goals, what will make you happy, it doesn't matter right now. We have to survive. It's too dangerous. And so this is how the first chakra, which is the base of your nervous system, it's actually energetically located at the bundle of nerves at the coccyx, where your nervous system begins and is and runs this fight or flight, is involved in all of the systems of the body. And it's coincidentally called the root chakra. And for my purposes, that's to remind you, it is the root of every problem. Always goes all the way back to existential fear. So I'm hoping that you're signed up for my series, my Chakra Intuitive series. I just finished on this on Monday, 2 days ago. Today's January 24th as I'm making this. I did the first chakra class. This came up in the class, but I wasn't able to go as deep in it as I wanted. So I wanted you to have this video because those of you who are jumping in and doing more of these training series with me, I want to make sure you have this information. It's crucial that you understand it at this level. And remember that tomorrow, January 25th, I will be teaching the second chakra class. And then there's 2 more totally free classes. Next week is Chakra 3 and Chakra 4. Again, we are building on the work in my book, Unblocked. And I'm teaching you as a coach, as a practitioner, as a healer, how to see other people and see their chakras and understand, as I said, a whole bunch of things about them in an intuitive way based on what their symptoms are and how you understand the chakras and the body. Because honestly, as we move forward in helping people, if we don't see the root of the problem, if we don't see what's going underneath at all of these levels, they are going to continue to do personal growth that doesn't get them anywhere. Even tapping can fall short when you don't know what you're looking for, when you don't know where you're going, when you don't know, for example, 100% there's going to be sadness under there, and I need to go and find it because this client in front of me is probably going to resist feeling that. And it's not their fault. They're spinning up here and their feelings are being bypassed. So I hope you join me on the live training tomorrow. We'll put the link here for you. You can always email us at support@margaretlynchraneri.com. And I'll see you on the live training tomorrow. It's at 12 o'clock Eastern. Come and have lunch with me tomorrow, and I'll see you there. Bye, everybody.